You want a better life. You want to make changes in your life. And you try to make changes in your life. The problem is that most of the changes that people make in their lives, try to make, usually don't succeed, are superficial, right? The only change that really matters is a spiritual transformation. Why? Because you are not trying to put lipstick on a pig. You are not trying to fix something that's not broken. You are not broken. And as long as you're trying to fix yourself because you think you're broken, the whole paradigm is wrong. And so the only thing that really counts is spiritual transformation, which means what? What does it mean to solve your problems at the level of spirit and spiritual transformation? What it means is you see through this lie of the ego and you start to realize the truth, which is that you are 100% okay. So let's talk about how most people try to change. Most people look in the mirror or they look at their bank account and they say, this is not good enough. They feel bad about themselves. They haven't succeeded in life. They are not thin enough or attractive enough, etc. I need to do something. This is how people approach it, right? I need to do something. And so they go and they look for a system. They say, this system is the system that will help me get to a place where people will like and respect me. If I could earn enough money, then people would like me. I would be able to do things. I would be able to come off as rich and successful. And then people would think I was great and I would feel good about myself. The problem is that doesn't work, right? Because money doesn't cure trauma, right? And really, the reason you don't feel good about yourself is not because you're not making enough money or that you don't have this slender figure. The reason you feel bad about yourself is because you believe the lies that your mind is telling you about yourself. And so this is it to have real change, right? Because the reason you want more money or a thinner body, right, is because you want to feel good. And you think that if you work hard enough and achieve these things, you will feel good, right? But that's not how it works. It doesn't work that way. So let's take the billionaire as an example. He grows up the fourth out of fifth child. He's not the youngest and the cutest, so he doesn't get all the attention, right? And he's fourth down the line and hand-me-downs and everything. So he feels like I don't matter. No system can contain I don't matter. People want to matter. They want to be loved. So he says, I'll show you. I'm going to go out and make $1 billion, right? And he does this. He works really hard. And over the next 30 years, he creates a business that's worth $2 billion. And so he's succeeded. The problem is the feeling of I don't matter has never left him because he hasn't done the inside work. So now he's got a very pumped up ego. We've all seen hard charging types, CEO types that are driven, right? And they've got these big egos. And so they're living off this ego hit of I'm better than anybody else, but they're still always trying to prove that I matter, right? Because the money hasn't fixed this basic supposition of there's something wrong with me. So how do we go about fixing this in a real way? How do we get a spiritual transformation? First, it starts with the thoughts. It starts with seeing the pain and the fear underneath it. So if the belief underneath is that I don't matter or I'm not worthy, then we start there. We start with that pain. And we go back and we find out where that pain started, because that pain still exists from day one, right? So something happened when you were 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or 7, somewhere in there. And you adopted a belief, something like, I don't matter, no one cares about me, I'm not loved, I'm not good enough, I never do anything right, whatever it is, doesn't matter. And that becomes a truth for you. And so, and you've been carrying it around to this day. You have your version. You need to find your sentence, that one sentence that causes all that pain. That's where we start. That's your real problem, right? That's your real problem. So now that we're down to the real problem, now we can begin to solve the real problem. So first thing is to start to get in touch with that pain, right? That's number one. Get in touch with that pain that's inside of you. right? And start to feel that. Your whole life has been designed about trying to get rid of that pain. Human beings don't want to feel pain. And even more importantly, their central nervous systems are trying to keep them from that pain and protect them from that pain because it was too much at the time. It was too horrible, that pain. And so you shut it down and it stayed shut down. And now your whole life is this attempt to get rid of it, to get houses and cars and stuff and to impress people so that you don't have to feel the pain of I'm not worthy. But it's not working. It's not working. Be honest with yourself. It's not working. I don't care what you've achieved or what you've done. Unless you've dealt directly with that problem, it's not working, right? So starting to feel that pain. Now, it's a very natural thing to feel this pain. This is what people don't realize, that feeling that pain is the most natural thing in the world. It's there. And blocking it is blocking off everything. It's blocking off access to your deepest, truest inner self. It's blocking off your intuition. It's blocking off the free flowing beauty that's inside of you. And you're living this lie of, I'm not worth anything. I'm not good enough. Right. And so feeling that pain actually um, starts to move the needle because you're starting to release the pain. When you feel it, you release it. So there's a technique that I call being with, right? And so the way that you do this is you allow the feeling to be there and you talk to it. You you make it okay for it to be there. You say, it's okay that this pain is here. And you feel it as completely as you can. And what you do generally is you do this in waves, right? You go through a wave of feeling. And so that might take a minute, it might take 5 minutes, it might take 15 to 30 minutes. But you just stay with it. You stay with that feeling, and then you're going to notice that at a certain point it lessens, right? And so that's just what you're looking for. That's one session. You allow that to lessen. And then you will come back tomorrow and you do the same thing. And over time, over the course of a couple of months, let's say, this feeling of I'm not worthy, I'm not worth it, I don't matter, starts to dissipate. And the best thing about this, and the reason that this is so powerful, is because when you go through this, it gets gone forever. You go all the way through it to the other side and you come out the other side. And like for myself, as an example, over the last 5 years, I've probably had 15 of these things that I've let go of. I used to have this tremendous fear of deadlines. Oh my gosh, they're not going to hire me again. I'm going to get fired. They're not going to like it. Today, I have no fear of deadlines, right? Because that was one of these things that was this childish thing. I had a child part inside of me that says, I can't do it. I can't do it. And I realized by walking through it that that part in me didn't have to do it, didn't need to do it. There was just this part, this scared child inside of me. And once I saw it and felt it all the way to the end, it's gone. It's been gone for years now. So this work is miraculous and it's real change and it's a spiritual transformation because when you let go of the false ego that is on top, what you are left with is your true nature underneath. And you start to know your true nature and you start to live from your true nature. And the thing about it that's so amazing is you just are yourself. You're not having to try to do anything or be anything or impress people or make people love you. You're just being you, which is the easiest thing in the world to be because it's just you. And I know people who avoid social situations and all of that because there's so much tension because they feel like they need to be something other than just who they are. Who you are is extraordinary and amazing. It's just blocked by this ego idea that there's something wrong with you, that you're not enough, which is not the case, right? So, so what I generally recommend is that every day for 5 minutes, you start to sit with these, we call them parts, right? And this is language from internal family systems that everybody uses today, like people used to use wounded child, back in the 80s or 90s, right? It's just a very good tool. You have a part, a wounded piece of your ego that's in the way, that's like a child having a tantrum that is filling up your house, the house of your body and your mind with all this pain and this sorrow. If you can learn to sit with that pain and that sorrow, it will dissipate, right? And that's the first key thing that you need to learn is that this pain is there for you to feel, not to avoid. That's what most people are doing. They're avoiding it and they're doing all this other stuff and they're working very hard and they're not getting anywhere because it's not real change. It's superficial change. Okay. That's the most important thing to understand. The change of the ego, the plan, the scheme to fix, superficial. So when you start to spend 5 minutes a day with this pain, it starts to dissipate. And you want to look at it in terms of months, right? You want to like sit with this every day for 5 minutes a day for a month and see where you're at. And then you want to say, okay, do I feel this pain less than I did a month ago? If so, then it's working, right? If you feel it less, that means going into it, which your mind and your body is telling will destroy you. It's telling you this will destroy you if you feel this feeling. And you'll notice that is not what happens. What happens is you become increasingly freed from that pain. And so you commit to doing this and you start to break free. And this is real change. And you will see that this is a spiritual transformation. You will achieve freedom from this pain. Instead of all these other techniques, it's management. If you're trying to earn money, then you have to keep earning money. If you have to diet to get thin in order to be loved, you have to keep on top of it. You have to keep counting your calories and doing that. But if you actually really go through this feeling all the way to the end, then you're free. There's no maintenance. This is not a joke. And the reason, it kind of sounds too good to be true, but the reason it's not too good to be true, because walking through that pain and walking through those feelings is not easy. You really are earning this freedom, but you're doing work that actually makes a difference. This is why I don't spend time giving people tips. And I know a lot of tips about how to make people more successful and more happy. And I don't do any of it, none of it, because the only thing that matters is that they have a spiritual revolution inside that leaves them free from the pain and the suffering that they are embroiled in. It's the only thing that matters. It's the only thing I care about, right? And so if you're interested in doing this, you can book a one-on-one call with me, and I can help you identify that pain and help you touch it so that you can start to do this yourself. So just go down in the description and book a free one-on-one consultation with me. I promise I won't try to sell you anything. I will just help you get in touch with this pain and show you how to do it yourself. And then also, if you want more support with this, I have a free community, again, down in the description, that you can join called Unblock Your Brilliance. Right. And it's a great community of people who are doing this and who are breaking free and who are real world examples. Go check them out and see the changes that are happening in their lives, because this is real. And the reason you know it's real is because this is not a quick fix. This is the opposite of a quick fix. This is a real transformation, not a quick fix. And then also, while you're down there, please like and subscribe. I'm more than happy to share this wealth of joy and information that I have inside me. And my only ask is that you like and subscribe the video, because that helps it to reach more people. And look, come back and check out more videos, because I talk about this same thing in lots of different ways. Getting rid of every block that you have to reveal your true nature. The place this ends up is you being satisfied from within and sharing your gifts in the world. That's what I'm all about. That's why I've created this channel. That's why I've created my community. That's why I work one-on-one with people to help them reveal their greatness and share it with the world. And I want you to have that too, because when you have something real inside you, you want to share it with the world. Cheers.